One of the biggest pay-per-views on the calendar year for Impact Wrestling is almost here. That's right, Rebellion takes place on Sunday, April the 16th from 8 p.m. Eastern Time at the Rebel Entertainment Complex in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. There are 7 matches to go through on this show, including some exciting ones as well. We've got an Ultimate X match for the Impact World Tag Team Championships. We've got a 3-way elimination match for the X Division Championship, potentially another 3-way for the Knockouts World Championship. We've got Hardcore War, Santino Marella returns to the ring, and we've even got Dirty Dango. But all kidding aside on that last bit there, we've got, of course, the vacated Impact World Championship going to be decided between Steve Maclin and Kushida, and that is exactly where I'm going to start my attention first on this video, because ladies and gentlemen, Josh Alexander unfortunately picked up an injury, a torn tricep, had to relinquish the Impact World Championship. Of course, that affected a number of shows at the time. He was pulled from Sacrifice. Steve Maclin took his place. Of course, Maclin on that show lost to Kushida in a 6-man tag team match. Kushida was set to have an Impact World title match at Multiverse United, and Steve Maclin was originally the #1 contender for Rebellion. It felt like Josh Alexander would have got through Kushida, if my opinion is going to count for anything here, and of course then Josh Alexander would have took on Steve Maclin as originally advertised for this show. Now, for those that watched Impact Wrestling this past week, magical moment, of course, when Josh Alexander went to relinquish that championship. It was, his son coming in to stop him from doing it. That magical little moment, whether it was a plant or seed or plan or not, the whole scene was done to perfection. Really made you feel for that moment just that little bit more if you didn't already. Josh Alexander being the longest reigning Impact World Champion of all time. But what does it mean coming in here? Because, well, Impact played footage showing that it's probably Kushida's hammerlock, his finisher, that could have been the reason that Josh, tore that tricep to begin with. Steve Maclin, for me, felt like the long-term goal to make your next world champion. There was legitimate reasons for either of these men to become world champion, to be a long-term world champion, and for Josh Alexander to make them the target on his return. So it could go either way this match, but as I said earlier in this, I think Steve Maclin was groomed to be the next guy. I think he was going to win against Josh Alexander on this show. So I think Steve Maclin is going to win here. Whether it's a one and done or whether this becomes a series of matches remains to be seen. But for me, I think Steve Maclin is going to be your next Impact World Champion. And I wouldn't be surprised if shenanigans were involved to make that happen. Moving on to the Impact World Tag Team Championships in Ultimate X, a match I'm extremely looking forward to. We've got the champions, the Bullet Club, Ace Austin and Dashing Chris Bay, going against the Motor City Machine Guns. Now, of course, the Machine Guns had a rematch clause after losing the championships to Bullet Club just recently. And of course, backstage, they'd won a tag team match against TMDK, and Ace Austin and Chris Bay said, look, you beat a team that we beat just recently. And the Machine Guns reminding about that rematch clause and said, let's do it at Rebellion, and why not up the stakes? Let's do it in Ultimate X. Of course, Ace Austin was the one talking there saying, yeah, let's do that match. But you could see an instant concern, the idea perhaps maybe they wouldn't retain those championships. And there's good reason why they perhaps could and perhaps should feel that way. Thank you, Wikipedia, for what I'm about to share with you. This is the 48th Ultimate X match in Impact history that we're going to have on this show. And of course, when you look at the people that have got the best record of being involved in there, Chris Sabin has the most wins in Ultimate X history with 8. Of course, Alex Shelley not doing too bad himself with 4 victories. I don't see on this list Ace Austin or Chris Bay winning any Ultimate X matches in the past. And for those that are wondering as well, we've had some tag team Ultimate X matches in the past as well. The Multi City Machine Guns have won some of those as well against the likes of Generation Me, of course better known today as the Young Bucks, and of course Beer Money back in the day in that classic Best of 5 series. So will the Motor City Machine Guns use that experience and win those Impact World Tag Team Championships once again? Let's not forget as well, Chris Sabin is now celebrating 20 years with Impact as well, joining in 2003 in the Asylum. He's still obviously doing his thing with the company now. It's great to see as well. Big congratulations to him as well. 20 years since that debut. But I'm going to say here, I don't think they're actually going to do it. I think that this is the idea that we're supposed to think the Machine Guns are going to win those championships back. I think that Ace Austin and Chris Bay are actually going to pick up the W for the first time in Ultimate X, and I think the Bullet Club here will retain those Impact World Tag Team Championships. Moving on, we've got the Design taking on Joe Hendry, Dirty Dango, and a return to the ring for Santino Marella. Now, of course, the Design have been putting Callihan through all the steps to make sure he's worthy of being a part of the Design. Of course, he did foul at one point, of course, making Con lose a match at No Surrender. Of course, then he did the right thing and took his punishment for that. Of course, then he sacrificed himself at one point in a match as well for the Design, although Deonna wasn't so convinced that that was the right move. But here, he needs to show one final step, the deadliest sin, step 7. Callihan needed to show that no authority would stop his actions moving forward. There was no authority above him. And of course, that meant he went to go and attack Santino Marella. And of course, from that, it led to where there was a bit of discussion with Scott D'Amore backstage. Dirty Dango saying he wanted revenge, he was willing to go and do it alone. And of course, Scott D'Amore said, well, that's not a very good idea to go and do it on your own against the whole group of the Design. He said, well, me and my friend, Joe Hendry. Of course, we know that chemistry with those two has always been quite interesting on Impact TV. Then Scott D'Amore said, well, you need a third guy to be involved with this. And Santino Marella, of course, the DOA, stepped up and said, I've not been in the ring for a very long time, but sometimes you need to step up. You need to be accountable for your actions. And he wanted to show that even at 75%, he could still get the job done. For me, this match is going to be quite interesting. The Design for me as a unit, I think should be going over as the stronger unit. However, the problems with Callihan they've been building to this point, it feels too much friction for me. It feels like we're building for Deonna versus Sami Callihan at perhaps Slammiversary later this year. I wouldn't be surprised if Callihan was to cost his own team. Therefore, Hendry, Santino Marella and Dirty Dango picking up the victory. I think in Callahan's mind, there is no authority that can stop him, and I think that even includes the Design. This could be their own downfall through making those rules that they've given to Callihan. And from that, Sami can be unleashed in Impact like we know he can be once again. Next, let's talk about the X Division Championship, an elimination match, another match as well I'm very much looking forward to. The champion Trey Miguel defending against Jonathan Gresham and Speedball Mike Bailey. Let's be fair here, let's get the bad part out of the way here. Trey Miguel doing the stupid heel thing, thinking if he costs two people in the number 1 contenders match that there's no number 1 contender. You surely have seen wrestling for the last 15-20 years by now. It becomes a triple threat match every single time. Doesn't matter what promotion, what company you're in, what division you're in, it's always the same result. So Trey Miguel, you're a bit silly in that mistake, but I'm willing to forgive that mistake because of the match we're getting. I'm quite excited about the prospect here. And of course, Gresham and Bailey were having their Part 3 match. We didn't get a conclusive victor, which leaves the door open for somewhere further down the line to revisit that if they want to here in Impact Wrestling. For me personally, Trey Miguel, he's used to winning. Of course, at Multiverse, he beat, what was it, like 5 other guys to retain the championship. Here though, everyone has to be eliminated, not just one person. You can't sneak in, get the pinfall, and actually walk away as champion. You might be doing it on the first fall. You can't do it on the second fall. And I think this will be the downfall for Trey Miguel. I think we're going to get a new champion. And as much as people know, I'm a big fan of Speedball Mike Bailey, I should say as well, I'm a big fan of Jonathan Gresham. And I'm going to be honest with you, I think it's the Octopus's time here. I think Gresham walks away your new X Division champion for the very first time. Moving on, we've got the Knockouts Tag Team Championships, a rematch. We've got the Coven defending against the Death Dollz. Of course, the Coven defeated the Death Dollz a few weeks ago on Impact TV, and what was one of their first matches as a team when Kilynn King made her debut in the company. Then they went and won the belts. Of course, since then, Ty Valkyrie no longer with this group now. Of course, she's a part of AEW going forward. Impact very tastefully writing off TV. Of course, Jessika. Do we want to become Havoc again? Do we not? Let me know in the comments below. Are you enjoying the Jessika character? For me, the Death Dollz here, it's all about revenge, isn't it? Can you get those championships back here? For me, we've got 2 sets as well of the, let's say, dark and mysterious gimmicks as well in Impact Wrestling. So these should pair up pretty well. For me, I've got the Coven to retain purely because they've just won those championships not that long ago. Next, let's talk about Hardcore War. We've got Team Bully versus Team Dreamer. Of course, at this point, the friendship of Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer has deteriorated after 30 years to the point of no repair. Bully Ray has found a way to stay one step ahead of Tommy Dreamer throughout this, whether it was the busted open talk, no surrender, whether it's the busted open match at Sacrifice, having people come to his defense as well. Bully has aligned himself with a number of friends to help him out. The Good Hands have been two guys that have been watching his back, along with Masha Slamovich. Kenny King this past week as well, throwing his name in the fray to complete Team Bully. Tommy Dreamer, on the other hand, first he's got the whole Impact roster watching his back. Of course, we saw a number of people come out to defend him at Sacrifice, and a number of wrestlers have come forward since to be a part of Team Dreamer. Yuya Uemura has been the first one there. We've got Frankie Kazarian, of course, coming up after we've seen the issues with him and Kenny King in the past, so he, of course, be a part of Team Dreamer. And of course, we've got Killer Kelly as well coming to defense there to nullify Masha Slamovich. Now, who will be the last person to make up Team Dreamer? We do know that Darren McCarty has been a part of Team Dreamer through Sacrifice and on the build. In fact, Darren McCarty even picking up a victory on Impact Wrestling, the former NHL player, of course, a former four-time Stanley Cup champion as well, may I add. Being in an Impact Wrestling ring has been quite fun to watch. But of course, there has been a shout for Scott D'Amore as well. Of course, Scott D'Amore never fully had that retirement match. He's given a lot to Impact Wrestling. Dreamer has told him it would mean a lot if Scott D'Amore was that final guy. And of course, Scott D'Amore did hit that Canadian Destroyer, didn't he, at Sacrifice, which, let's be fair, was pretty awesome. A great viral moment for Impact Wrestling. For me personally, I think that we are going to see him as the last person. I think we will get Scott D'Amore get that final swan song and actually be a part of Team Dreamer. And for me, as I said the whole way through, at this point, Bully Ray has found a way to stay one step ahead. This is the right place, the right time to finish this off and Team Dreamer pick up the victory. Last match now, and there's a reason I've put this last. We've got a Knockouts World Championship match. If Mickie James is cleared, this match is a freeway. She will give the verdict on Impact Wrestling on Access TV this upcoming Thursday. And of course, if she is cleared, it's a triple threat match. If not, it's one-on-one. And the people that will be definitely competing are Jordynne Grace and Deonna Purrazzo. Of course, Grace was meant to have the championship match at Sacrifice against Mickie James, and Deonna Purrazzo won a match at Multiverse United to make herself a part of this match. Originally, what I thought was going to be Masha Slamovich. Now, that is going to actually play a bit of Masha Slamovich into my prediction here, because for me, it made me wonder, there was problems with Mickie James and Masha Slamovich. Was Mickie meant to be a part of Team Dreamer on this show originally? Was she meant to lose to Jordynne Grace at Sacrifice? We're never going to know at this point what Impact's original plans are, but the fact that we know Killer Kelly is in that spot now, Mickie James can deal with Masha Slamovich at a later time. We know that she's already been in the ring with Dreamer alongside against Bully Ray, and Masha Slamovich could be a part of the reason why she's injured now. But of course, looking at the people in the ring, Jordynne Grace with Mickie James goes all the way back to Hard to Kill at the start of the year. Of course, Deonna Purrazzo reminding us as well that now she's involved in this match. Jordynne Grace has never beaten her, so if it's one-on-one, Deonna looks like a clear favourite. The only thing is though, if Mickie James is involved in this match, well, neither of the other two knockouts, but Deonna focusing on herself, has never beaten Mickie, something that I'm sure one or both of them would like to do. Regardless of if Mickie's in this match or not, I've got Mickie to drop the championship. I just feel that it's time to move on for a new champion at this particular time, purely because, well, like I said, Mickie's arguably here involved with two different storylines at the same time. She can finish one off here with Jordynne Grace if she's a part of the match, and she can go and finish off what's going on with Masha Slamovich at, say, Under Siege or Slammiversary in a month or two down the line. For me, looking at this, should it be one-on-one or should it be a freeway? I'm going for Jordynne Grace to pick up the victory over Deonna Purrazzo, because Grace has never pinned or beaten Purrazzo. Grace, for me right now, I just think she's on another level. To be fair, this is a dream match, whether it's, you know, two ladies in the ring, whether it's three ladies in the ring. We know Purrazzo and Grace have had great matches in the past. I've looked forward to them mixing up in the Impact ring once again now for about 3 years since their last encounter. With Mickie James in the fold, if it's a freeway, like I say, this has got dream match written all over it for me personally, but I'm going for Grace to pick up the W to become the new champion here. I think she beats Purrazzo in doing so. Then that way we can do Grace versus Mickie James further down the line once again. Like I say, in the short term, Mickie James can fix what's going on with Masha Slamovich. It's a lot to go through there, but that's my predictions there for you for Impact Wrestling Rebellion. If there are any last minute matches added to the card, I'll try and do a short upload for you to give my predictions for those matches as well. So keep an eye out on the channel for that. I may even do it in the shorts format if I can do so. If you've enjoyed this video, then please do consider hitting the like button, share with a friend as well, and subscribe. If you are enjoying Impact content along with AEW and WWE, then this is the place for you. Why not check out some of the videos on the side of your screen right now. Take care, thank you for watching, and enjoy Impact Wrestling Rebellion Sunday, April the 16th.